Hello, welcome. My name's Simon Broughton. I'm from London. I'm founding editor of Songlines, which has been going nearly 25 years now. On stage with me is Dávid from Hungary, Silvij from Slovenia, and Bojan from Serbia. And this morning's session was very wide-ranging, I think, in what was being discussed. This one is going to be extremely focused, and the discussion is going to be on one track from now 5 bands. We had a quick discussion, and we're going to play the complete tracks. I say that because the first one is the longest of them, about seven minutes, and we've got about 10 minutes for each band. But some of the other tracks are quite short, so we're going to play all 7 minutes of the first track, and then each of us will make some comments about what we've heard. I think, unfortunately, Peria, the first band, I think they're probably doing their sound check, and as far as I'm aware, there's nobody here from the little fairies in the band to answer any questions. But I know some of the other musicians are here, and I'd very much like to invite them, if they're willing, to say perhaps some words about the tracks or answer any questions. So I think let's get going. We have, first of all, "The Anarchist" is the title of the track by Peria, who are from North Macedonia, and Okay, so this is Peria and the Anarchist. I very much like the textures of this song, and it sounds to me like a pretty deep and serious song, though needless to say, I don't know exactly what it's about. My question to them would be why, when the vocals start, they sort of emerge out of the music and they're almost hidden at the beginning, and then suddenly they emerge more and more. That was the first thing that comes to my mind when I first heard that track. Silvij, do you want to take over? So, I pointed to Dávid, but...
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think that there's any troubles with the vocals. To me, it's very, would I say, vulnerable, you know, very... I mean, I really love it, you know, I'm so much looking to tonight's concert, and the dynamic of the song just works perfectly, you know. It's hard to maintain a focus on, how long is it, 7 minutes?
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Yeah, so as you could hear, it was, what, in 3 phases?
I would say 4, but...
4 even, maybe the last one, yeah. So it would be interesting to know what they're singing about, you know.
I did sometimes feel, oh, it's stopping, and then it doesn't. Bojan.
Yeah, that's Peria, how they work. I mean, from the first EP, they were doing these long, extended songs, and also now with this new cycle of songs where they use the poetry from different parts of the Balkans, they go even deeper. I mean, Peria is always thinking very much about the text and how it get involved. I mean, I would say that this band is really like created, but it's not created especially for it. It's how they feel. It's for the young audience. In the world music business, it's and the festivals, it's mostly elder audience. And then Peria attracts, I mean, kids from 19-year-olds, I mean, kids, to 25. So this is new generation that are coming because they have something which is removed from what we call world music, but on the other side, they also have this beat and there is some story behind, and you feel it in the text, even you don't understand the word from what they are singing about, but they usually say a few things about every song, and that's it. I mean, they work together very well. I think the new lineup is with the drum set, so let's see how this is going to intervene, because they exchange instruments all the time on stage. You don't hear this in the songs, but it works completely well, and that's how they breathe together. It's, even they are several generations, you feel that they are together for a quite long time. Even Ognjen is only 19 years old.
I think it's interesting what you say about them attracting a younger audience, because from what I've heard of the band, it's quite serious. It's deep music. It's not immediately catchy music. You know, you've really got to pay attention, which is, you know, as you say, you would associate more with a more elderly audience. But other feelings along those lines. What do you think, Dávid?
My addition would be also about production in terms, because my favorite part was when it was sort of a spoken word addition. It felt so vulnerable, as you mentioned, also fragile in this sense. But also on the same aspect, I think it's accessible. So even if I'm not understanding all the lyrics, the song title says it all. It's about all the passion. So I'm 100% on it. But I wasn't sure, as you mentioned, the dynamics between the musical patterns and the vocals. I just also came to this idea that at some point I had the impression that the vocals are also on the same level as the instruments, and I could have imagined a different kind of master for this particular track when it's either more vocal driven, because it also has this vulnerability also to access younger audiences in terms of this master, and also the only thing what just came to my mind, and it's because whenever you are listening to music for a long time, there's always one guy who has any ideas about how the drum has to sound. And I would just alter a bit the snare itself. But besides that, it's really moving. I think that's the best word for it. And it just creates an atmosphere, but keeps it up until the very end of the track. So it lives up for it.
It's strange how the song is atmospheric, but at the same time you keep you dancing. I mean, it's also how they do in the concert. I mean, they are all seated, and then you think, okay, this is not something you are going to dance, but you're going to move your asses for sure.
Okay, should we move on? Okay, band number 2 is Djordjevic Domain, led by Anna Djordjevic, who I know is here in the audience. So, Anna, it would be nice perhaps if after we've listened at some point, you might come up and say a few words. So the song is called "The World Has Gone Mad, My Friend." Lyrics this time in English, and it might be interesting at some point to talk about this whole business of whether it's important or not to understand words. So here we go with Djordjevic Domain. Try again. Here we go. So the world has gone mad, my friend, Djordjevic Domain. I probably should have said that the Balkan ingredient here is that Anna's a Finnish Bulgarian. Bojan, impressions of that track?
So I know Dana's work for a long time, and then during the song I was thinking why this is not the radio hit. It has the timing, it has the beat. Is this tuba stuff that will maybe is difficult for the radio audience, but it has really some great potential. Also, when you compare it to Peria, you see the difference in productions. I mean, how detailed it was, like thinking about all this small stuff during the recording, and Peria was more like alive, how it works. So I will say this is something which is very interesting. I mean, I will say this is a pop song, which also nice pop song, works very well, very interesting arrangement, and then just let's figure out how we can help Anna to develop in this direction and create something new. I mean, the musicians from Finland are crazy and innovative very much, and it's probably quite a lot of them, but then this is something really working well.
Silvij?
I agree with you, actually, and yeah, I mean, this song should be easily used for some apocalyptic movie soundtrack, you know, when everything's going to explode, or I don't know.
It's quite a distinctive sound, isn't
yeah,
it?
This
dark, deep
I mean,
sound.
also the voice is beautiful, you know, the instrumentation, it's not pushy, it's good, you know, it develops really nice. I mean, it's a good track. I mean, that's from my side.
Dávid?
In terms of instrumentation and also the pattern itself that the song is structured on, it's really outstanding. So I was also happy when I first heard this. But in regards of your theoretic question on why it's not a hit song, I think we can also touch base on your question on should we use native language or English instead. And I can only refer from my point of view in terms of pitching front catalog assets and songs from the region itself. And whenever tracks from the Balkans or basically from Eastern Europe trying to compete with native speaking English listeners, I think even if there's just a slight accent in any lines, it just bounces out an editor, a radio programmer, anyone. And even if the track brings you there, I think there might be 2 words on total where you can just have a bit of a hint that it's not native spoken. And I think it can be also something that makes it unique, and it's not something that's a negative aspect of the track, but maybe you can tell more about it because your ear is more adapted to this. But whenever I have to defend songs like this on a weekly basis, like 20 or 30, and I see it's always a challenge in this way. And in my opinion, whenever it's about a song strategy, it still makes sense to release it in English afterwards once people might hear it even in Finnish or Bulgarian or whatever language it is, because the musical pattern drives you on anyway because it's unique, and also the rhythm is outstanding, so there's no competition for this track. But afterwards it's still worth it to go into an English version because through this way you have lesser competition to raise awareness, and once you have that direction, then you can just still expand it, in my opinion.
Anna, could I ask you to come on stage and perhaps join me on the sofa? I mean, you've called it a pop song. The opening is very mysterious and quite weird, I would say, and it isn't a pop song to my ears to begin with, and it becomes much more catchy and much more... Please come, this is Anna Danchev. Yes, congratulations on that track. I mean, Dávid was asking about the language and things. Why is this in English?
Well, my mother tongue, first of all, is Finnish, but it's not my singing language, because Finnish language, we speak that in back of our head, and it doesn't suit my vocal character. So my singing languages, they are Bulgarian and English. But why English? Probably because I have also lived in English-speaking countries. I do speak English daily basis in my family, actually, with my husband and my kids. And I used to sing also a lot of Afro-American materials, and also like Irish and UK like traditional songs. So I mean, for me, English is not my mother tongue, but it's very strong language that I use.
And indeed, many of your songs on your albums are in Bulgarian, aren't they?
I do also have lyrics in Bulgarian, and I don't, when I compose, I don't do that having the markets in my mind. I actually create from my heart. And sometimes the language, I mean, sometimes Bulgarian speaks to me and sometimes English speaks to me, and then I go with all the tools and elements what I have so far in my life, and you know, I'm an artist.
So in a way, this song was sort of born in English. It's not a matter of translating from one to another. It came out in English.
Yeah, it actually it was born in English, and it was born in the time when the whole world was going through the pandemics. And I wrote the lyrics in 2020 when all the freelance musicians in Finland were struggling because our government didn't understand the situation where we are, and they were kind of trying to give us like dimes and nickels, like little pennies, and try to live with that. So that's why I wrote the lyrics, like we need more than just trust and small things. But then when I released the album in 2022, then we were facing the different situation in the world. There was this war, and the world is burning basically at the moment, or there are floods everywhere. So the lyrics, they got a different meaning after the releasing the song.
Bojan,
yeah, I just would like to ask Anna whether she thinks that brass band arrangement is doable with this song.
Sorry, I couldn't.
Brass band arrangement,
Yeah.
is it doable? I feel it could work really well. Not in the typical Balkan style, but there is this slow, deep stuff which can work with the good brass bands. So it's an offer for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love brasses, but again, I don't use like trombone and tuba in my compositions because they are kind of stereotypically Balkan sound, but it's just, I love the sound of trombone and tuba, and they suit my voice, and they suit it also for this, the song and the scene of the song, because this is from our second album, The Lions We Are, where the biggest element was the sea, and the fact that people have, crossed the sea when trying to find like new life. So I was actually writing songs about immigration, and in this song we are diving into deep, like bottom of the sea, when the whole world has actually collapsed.
Anna, thank you very much.
Thank you.
When are you playing, by the way?
Yeah, we are showcasing tomorrow, Photon Stage, 11 p.m. So Friday, 11 p.m. Photon Stage, that's the place to be. Please come.
Anna Janchev, thank you very much. Okay, so the next band is Graiu, who are from Romania. Is there anyone from Graiu here? Okay. You would like to say something, Nick? You might. Okay, let's listen to the track, and then we'll see whether we have any questions for Nick.
Cărăbanul vine. Cărăbanul vine, frate, cu 300 de onși, cu 300 de onși, frate, cu ascherul grețesc, tănas la tâlcioră, frate, la puntea Bobăle, tănas la tâlcioră, frate, tine de iubides. Unțe bun son dormeam, Dodu, si unțe bun son dormeam, si unțe bun vis vedeam, Dodu, că gruțile scoteam, înți fățea Dodu soru, că gruțile scoteam, din zur de mănăstiri soru, steaguiul îl purtam, puton, Dodu mila, obințile smincați, si cucuza mă liergă, eu sunt șumii.
So that's Graiu. The song is called Quanticu Luboshka. I did look it up on Google Translate just now and it didn't come up with anything. So, Dávid, do you want to kick off on this one?
When I mentioned that the first track, it just came to my mind the difference between the music production of is the vocal an additional instrument or it should be centralized. In my opinion, for a track like this, when basically you have this hypnotic pattern, when the vocal is basically homogenic in terms of it uses one vibrational technique and it goes through, I think it's more easier to set an atmosphere if it's also part of the musical pattern. So in my opinion, the vocal was a bit too much in the final mix compared to the instrumentation. But correct me if I'm wrong, it just reminded me to the time when basically there was this revival with bands like Songoy Blues and such, when basically there was a new definition of how to add the blues patterns into the heritage of world music, and it opened new gates or attracted new audiences. So I feel a huge potential in this, but when it comes to basically the mastering or the production aspect, I think the musical aspect should be highlighted more than the vocals for me. But it's quite a sad scenario that I'm the first who's talking about this track, so it seems like I'm giving always negative feedback, which is not my main concern, so sorry for that.
Silvij?
I mean, I've been working on around 150 albums production-wise right now, you know, and I don't think that I cannot compare, I don't know, all these singers, bands, on the, like, sound-wise, you know, how they're recorded, how they're produced. Some things are just meant to be heard, like, I don't know, this one where the vocal is really coming out like in a big scale, and I think this is good because this vocal is my favorite vocal from this session so far, You know, I like it's raw.
I think the vocalist is called Alina Cholka. It's interesting. This is my least favorite vocal,
okay.
actually. I have problem with the sort of vibrato-ness of it, to be honest.
I mean, I know the whole album, and this is I think, the track which is really going further than any other. On the other hand, it's very interesting that even the Armani indigenous inhabitants of Balkan don't have that many musicians present, and this is one of the bands. And when I spoke to Alina about all this stuff, so I expected a little bit more. Of course, this is going further. This is this kind of fusion which could bring to the new audiences, but still I think production and compositional-wise, and I would say even vocal-wise, it has to be worked much more, and then of course it will depend how the concerts will go. I mean, so far the track is nice and bluesy, and you have this nice rhythm which drives you, but still, I mean, the whole concept has to be developed, I will say, because I know the whole album.
Sorry, I have to add that I'm specifically referring to the tracks that we are listening to. You know, for most of the bands, I actually don't know much more than what we got. So I don't know, you know, what is the opus of everybody. But yeah. So.
Nick, do you want to come up and we can perhaps ask a couple of...
It wasn't my role to comment on the artistic side, unless I'm asked. But generally, my role is to say, what are the choices, what could you do, how could you take this further, all that kind of thing. I know Alina well, we've met a couple of times, and Alina is very articulate, knows exactly what she's doing and what she wants to do. Her roots are in two places. One is American early blues, acoustic blues, you know, the Blind Willie Johnson, Jefferson, Robin Johnson, etc., blues, the real blues, and something you could call Romanian folk music, Romanian traditional music. And here, in this album, she mixes them both, arguable. The Songlines review commented on that. I appreciate especially the hybrid. I don't think it's a fusion, it's a hybrid, if you can say a difference. You know, you hear the blues and you hear the Romanian folk music.
Yeah, and there is this doina,
yeah,
blues-like,
yes,
Romanian song.
Yeah, and it's both at the same time, and I don't feel it's unnatural. That's what she's into, and that's what she comes out of her. I kind of disagree with Bojan that I don't think it's unfinished, or it could, you know, it's what she wants to do, and that's, you know, of course you could mix it a bit differently and all the rest of it, but that's always the case, and that's a taste question.
There's three very clear ingredients: the vocal and the percussion and the whatever the plucked instrument is.
It's interesting that her vocal technique is quite what you could call maximalist, and the music is almost minimalist. It's you know, there's not a big electric guitar solo, or, you know, it's quite pointed, you could say, and that's the characteristic of what she's doing on this album.
Any more comments on Graio? Okay, Nick, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so next, Besart Juja, who I think is in the audience here, and so Besart, prepare for a stage appearance later on. The title of the song is something like Amundesh me mspetu, which is Albanian, and probably doesn't actually pronounce like that at all. Anyway, this is, and I don't know what the meaning is, but anyway, this is Besart Juja we're about to listen to.
cel sucio hem prevenit Come driden Niste eiste J bagus spres Ulame lide Apom nin Haline kushmadi
So this was Besart to Julia. Silvij, do you want to kick off on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really my cup of tea, you know, it's a bit too wide sound maybe, too, I don't know, poppy, but I do appreciate the singer's voice, it's great. Also the whole arrangement, I think it works, you know, maybe I'm just not the right audience for it.
Bojan?
I will agree with Silvij. It's not perfectly my cup of tea, although I'm looking forward to the bands from Albania to hear them, because this is one of the countries which also got something out from the whole MOST project. Unfortunately not enough, because there is so much great music going there, and also there are some festivals. But here I would like to hear more voice in this song. I mean, okay, the pattern behind is okay, and then I wonder how it works on stage, but at the end the voice maybe should be a little bit more up, or somehow just to give more space to the voice. And also at the end is also big part of the song is instrumental, which is, as Silvij said, pop.
Dávid?
I'm in a situation where actually I'm his mentor. No worries, no. And I'm super proud of the artistic path he's on, because I remember when I received the list of the participants who I can choose, who I can work with. I remember when I first heard his voice, I got stunned. So, okay, I want to work with him. And he also accepted the fact that I'm coming from a totally different background. So I will always try to boost his artistic will on doing things that are totally outside of his comfort zone. And I'm super proud of this particular track, because even if it has a more pop influence sound compared to the other tracks we hear today, but on the other hand, I think it's also unusual. So it's not something that just going for conventions. And the way how he uses the drops from contemporary pop music, but at the moment it's basically a folk instrument. It gave me goosebumps the first time I heard it. And in terms of his capabilities, how he uses his vocals, I'm sure that when he will perform on Saturday, basically the whole concert will be around his voice, because that's how he drives the attention. But on the other hand, I think it's a bold move, because if you compare it to his already released album, that was indeed driven by his voice. So right now, I think he's not only have in this artistic process someone who he can rely on about how the music should be also patterned, but also something that's not behind him. But I think it's a joyful adventure. He's also experimenting, but that's why I cannot really be as much objective on it as I should be, because I heard it from scratch as well. So.
No, I really like this track, actually. It's interesting, the sort of difference of opinion across here. Besart, could you come up for a couple of minutes and reveal yourself? And I think it's just you, isn't it, Besart? There's your instrumentalist and vocalist, yes?
Well, thank you very much for your comments. It's not actually me alone. I co-produce with Liz, my partner, who is here tonight. And he did a great job in arranging the song, although I have to mention that it's not a complete track, because we are still working in a new album, which we hope we're going to release soon. But we wanted to have something genuine, not a remade song, so that we can introduce ourselves to this panel and to this showcase.
Is it your song?
I've written the lyrics, and the lyrics is a bit dark. If you maybe I tried to transpose this idea, this philosophy into the way of singing, like smooth singing, not very potential singing. And I think that's my feature in singing. Yeah, I went with a simple guitar track to Liz, and we did arrange this together, and yeah, apparently.
Are you performing here?
On Saturday, yeah.
Saturday.
Evening.
When?
Photon stage.
And when?
Yeah,
well, look in your timetable then, everybody. Besart, thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
So finally, we have Flying Nomads, which is our last track. Flying Nomads are from Bulgaria. The fifth track. The track is called Omen. And it goes like this. Flying Nomads, Omen. David, do you want to kick off on this? We should be quickish because we're coming up to time.
Okay. I think it has been beautifully recorded. I'm not sure what's your impression on this, but it's so awesome to hear that all the musicians are listening to each other and basically that they are resonating totally on the same page. They are on the same page. So it was awesome to hear it. The only thing that just popped into my mind that once I thought that the track will end and they came back to this one overture, I would say. And even if it was also beautiful, maybe I personally did not really need it. So in my opinion, didn't add up anything to everything that happened in the track. But it was really beautiful and well developed in all aspects, in my opinion.
Yeah, the vocal is very soulful. You know, it's beautiful sung, and also I think that what is bendir and is it tambura or brach? This combination is always excellent to hear if it's played like this. You know, I really like this track.
Yeah, it's a really nice track, and it's good how we are ending with a song which is kind of same atmosphere like Peria where we started. So the cycle can go on, we could continue with Peria again. And it works and it's good to compare. And then this is then again also tempting to see, okay, how the band is doing live, because this is nice duet. They had been in Novi Sad, but we missed them due to nice organization who drove us to the venue too late for the concert, which we were supposed to see as the delegates. So this is something that really can work on. They can really, with this kind of music, go to different kind of festivals. They have some potential, of course. They need management and the label. They had a good mentor, so they were probably advised very well. Eric van Vonhoven is a guy who knows quite a lot, so let's maybe hear about from you and then from the band there here.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, the ingredients are quite minimal, but beautifully done and effectively done, I would say. So, a good note to end on. Look, thanks very much for coming. We've got another one of these sessions at 10:30 tomorrow morning, so please come and join us for that. So, thanks very much. Bye-bye.